Hello, hello. Yeah, sorry, I didn't turn on my sound. So yeah, guys, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Igor. I'm founder of Web2App. We have a special guest today, Marat from ngrow, and today we are going to cover really interesting topic: emails for web2app funnels. We will skip the part where we explain what are web2app funnels and especially what are emails. And yeah, so I'm from Web2Wave. I'm founder of Web2Wave. We are the number one tool for building web2app funnels, onboardings, and paywalls. With us, you can simply launch your funnel in one day, connect payment systems, and sell your subscriptions to your mobile applications, other subscription services on web, and then send the user to your mobile application or to other service. And in Web2App funnels, you can collect emails, but there are some problems with them. At first, you may collect these emails. You will need them for payments, but you also can have problems when you collect emails because users may not want to leave their emails because they don't understand value. They then don't want to be spammed, and you may lose users there. Sometimes it may improve the conversions into sale, so it always worth experimenting. But the thing is, when you're collecting emails, you may not use the database that you collect to increase your revenue, and this is a big problem for most of the funnels. They do not create a really nice email sequence to warm up the users after they get their emails, and that's the problem. Today we will cover how to fix this problem. In general, in web funnels, there are multiple ways how you ask user to get their to leave their emails. The first option is to ask during the funnel, usually in the end of the funnel, before the paywall. The other option is to ask, one second. Oh, yeah, I didn't. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, there are three ways how to collect emails. At first, you can collect them in the quiz, in the end of the quiz. The second option is when you collect it on the paywall, in payment form, or through Apple Pay and other payment methods that do have emails. And you can also skip the email collection and ask the users their email only after the payment. With that, you will not have any drop-offs on the email collection, but you will not be able to 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 warm up the user to the purchase. So these are a few examples on how you can collect. Like, we always, if you decided to collect the emails, we recommend that you will explain why you need the emails. Explain that if you leave your email, you will get your personalized learning plan, or you get some PDF, or you will be notified about like new updates in our application, something like that. And you also should explain that your data is secured. We will not spam you. And by that, you like increase the conversions. If you put just screen like enter your email and only the field, the conversions will be way more lower. These are some other examples. In general, we do not recommend to have these long forms. People do not like them, but in some cases you will need them. Great example from Headway. You just put email, and you even do not ask them to tick a checkbox that user agrees with your privacy policy. You just put like by continuing, you indicate that you're read and agree to our terms and conditions. It also will increase the conversions. The other option is to collect them in the payment form. So you can include email field in the form where you get the card details, or you can skip this part and you can get the emails from Apple Pay as a payment method. And the other option is to collect after the payment. So when the payment is made, then, like for instance, on Web2App, you can tick a checkbox require users to enter their email after the purchase. So the purchase can be done without any email, and you ask it after the payment. So these are 3 ways how to collect. We always recommend to experiment with it because we saw experiments when removing email collection improved overall conversion from visitor to subscribe. But we also saw experiments where email collection improves the conversion, so it's worth experimenting. And while you're experimenting, it's crucial that you do not collect emails too early. You have to provide them with a value. If you get their emails, work on your email sequences and do not send just generic, hey, buy our subscription, or really simple emails. They have to be complex and the sequences have to be long. Yeah. And when you collected the email, then the part where you have to create the sequence is taken into place, and Marat will explain to us how to do that and how the best applications in the market do the email sequences for Web2App funnels.
Absolutely. Just in a second.
Yeah, please share your screen.
Sure. So, yeah, just a sec. Give me a moment, guys. I'm setting up stuff. And here we go. I hope you do see my screen. Please tell me if you do, or if you don't. But you should. So Igor, since you're a host, I'll ask you to help me a little bit. So if you have any questions during the presentation, or like our viewers who drop like some questions to the chat, please feel free to interrupt me and ask some questions, because I'm here like to make like more conversational webinar rather than just me shooting out the content.
Sure.
So
sure.
Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to interrupt and we'll start a discussion. So first of all, who am I? My name is Marat. I'm CTO and founder of Engrow. We're building a tool that is AI CRM tool for sending emails and push notifications for both mobile apps and websites. We're primarily focused now on Web2App funnels. That's why I'm here, and that's why I will give you a quick glimpse on how to start to send emails if you're not already. So I worked with a couple of pretty big apps, including Moonly, Sandbird, Yidadil. They were pretty big with tens of millions of MAU. And yeah, I'm working with mobile apps for more than 10 years. So I've seen a lot of them, worked with a lot of them, helped to build and grow, like, I don't know, I guess tens. Yeah, I guess it's tens, not hundreds yet, but I will be there once. So yeah, what we'll cover today. Today, I will tell you why email marketing matters and why you should shoot some emails to your customers, because like it's just a revenue that is not in your pocket, and it just flows not towards your app, and you miss that. So the second part would be how to set up that from technical perspective, like what do you need, and just how to do that manually. And then we'll cover some case studies of our apps and other apps that exist in the internet, and I guess you all heard about them. So first things first, why do you need to do email marketing? So Igor, as you said, the funnel is pretty long, and not all of the apps collect the emails, email addresses, I mean, from their customers throughout the funnel. So in my experience with the customers we work, the email, the step where you collect email addresses does not affect the end-to-end conversion significantly. At least we could not confirm that with some statistical significance. So the thing that we see is that, yes, there are less people who reach the paywall if there is a step before when you collect emails, but the final number of purchases that they do does not decrease, at least significantly. I'm not sure how to interpret that. So my hypothesis, like main hypothesis, is that people who are ready to buy, they are pretty okay to leave their email address, and they consider that as a normal step. And people who are not likely to buy, they will just churn, whether on this step or any other, or at the paywall. But that's up to debate, and you guys have to A/B test these things. But definitely, like, if you want to make some retargeting, it makes perfect sense to collect emails, because to send an email is cheaper than to set up a retargeting campaign on Facebook or TikTok, right? So in terms of numbers, like 95% of users who reach your paywall, they churn and never come back. So the usual conversion on a paywall is like roughly 5%, like from 3 to 7. Let's take it 5. So 95% of users churn. Yeah, and you can at least try to convince them to get back and try your product with emails, because sending of one email costs like 1/100th of a cent, where a click from Facebook costs like, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's about 20 cents or something like that on top tier countries. Like, I'm not 100% sure about the specific numbers, but
You're saying about the click price?
yeah, on Facebook. Like,
Yeah,
right now
it can be around 20 cents. So
yeah. So it's like 3 orders of magnitude higher than sending an email, which is insane. So yeah, you guys should definitely consider sending emails to convince some of your users to come back. And we have like confirmed cases of incremental revenue from emails, which is like 5 to 10% of your standard revenue, right? So it depends on multiple factors. And again, there is a magic number from 3 to 7% of uplift, which is kind of funny, because it's the same corridor as the conversion at the paywall. But these are the numbers. They really depend on a country, because some countries like United States, like Australia, UK, like tier 1 countries, we call it like that, they respond to emails pretty good. I guess people there are just used to the pattern of reading emails and getting deals through emails. That's just how things work in the United States or UK or somewhere like that. But countries like Brasilia, like Middle Eastern countries, they do not respond to emails that well. They do respond to WhatsApp, however. We're not covering the WhatsApp topic today, and we'll focus primarily on emails. But they still respond. Just the numbers are lower than in tier 1 countries. But probably if you're making like a web funnel app, the tier 1 countries are your main sources of users. Like, that's an assumption, obviously. But if this is the case, you definitely need to do emails. All right, so you've decided to set up emails for your awesome apps that monetizes with a subscription. And let's say that you have already working and successful web funnel built on Web2Wave, of course. What should you do next, and how do you set up an working email sequence that actually drives some conversions, some revenue, that kind of stuff? So first thing that you need to do is to choose email service provider, or ESP. So these are the tools that help you to send emails. This is kind of like low-level transport for sending emails. So emails, from technical perspective, emails is a very, very old protocol that was born at the same time as HTTP was born. So it's in late 90s. And there are a lot of patches on how to do this channel secure. because initially when it was built, you just set, like for instance, if you send an email, you send explicitly your email address of a sender. Like suppose I send emails to you, I said explicitly that my email address is marat@marat.com, for instance. So yeah, and there was a plain text, and obviously a lot of bad guys were exploiting these vulnerabilities of the protocol, and smart guys tried to fix the protocol. And there are a lot of like technical things that you need to consider when you're setting up your email server. Obviously, you can set up your email server like in a self-hosted way, but nobody does that, because if you do, you'll face a lot of problems with end users, email service providers like Gmail, like Yahoo, like Apple email service, which is insane. They work mostly with big guys. So to name some ESPs that you might consider to start to work with is for like Bravo, which were known like as Sendinblue, SendGrade, which is kind of Twilio, MailChimp. So these guys, I guess, the biggest. And then there are a lot of multiple other ESPs that are also pretty good, but these three are like the biggest at the market. So you need to use them because they already handle all these nuanced technicalities related to email as a low-level protocol. So you just use them as an API to send emails, and this is pretty much it. So it's a standard deal. They have kind of like the same pricing. Some of them are more expensive, some of them are cheaper, but like they're roughly the same. So yeah, when you chose your ESP, you need to understand your email strategy. So in emails as a channel, deliverability is the king, because if your emails land to spam folder, that doesn't matter how frequently you send them, how good the content is. If you've done something wrong on a like technical perspective, your emails just will disappear and will not be visible to your customers. So one of the main key points and health metrics that you need to look to is a reputation of your email domain. So email domain is a domain from which you send your emails. Say I have an app that is called, I don't know, Sample, and I have a domain sample.com. So my email domain would be sample.com. There are different strategies on what to do and how to build and boost the reputation of your domain. But the bare minimum that you need to understand is that this reputation is built with mostly like 2 or 3 services. So, for instance, this is a chart of email address providers from one of our clients, from one of our apps. So more than a half of users' email addresses are handled by Gmail. Then like about a quarter or a third is handled by iCloud, Apple Mail, that kind of stuff. And then there are like other email providers like Yahoo, like Microsoft, something like that. So we will primarily be focused on Gmail because that covers like more than a half of the user base. So Gmail has a tool called postmaster.google.com, and there you can see your domain reputation, which is like which has 4 tiers essentially, which is high tier, medium, low, and bad. And you obviously want to end up in a high reputation. So this reputation is a tricky metric because nobody obviously knows how exactly is it calculated, and nobody will tell you because that's kind of the secret of the Google. But yeah, in general, there are few things that you need to put your attention to. So first one is that email providers hate huge volume spikes. So if you were not sending like emails at all, and then you bought a domain, and then you start to send 10,000 emails per day, you will go straight to spam, and this is it. Done. You're done. The domain will be instantly marked as spammy and bad. This is considered spam behavior, and yeah, don't do that. So what we recommend is to start from small numbers and increase the volumes of sending consistently, and by not really big multiplier. Say increase like 15-20% per day and see how it goes. Monitor the reputation. If you notice that your reputation is going down, stop increasing the volumes and try to focus on content, and work on other reputation markers. So another reputation markers might be obviously spamming words. If you're just starting your emails, try to convince your users that you're not sending spam. I mean, I totally understand that that sounds pretty obvious, but when you start, it is crucial to make your users to mark your email messages as spam. And that would be perfect if they interact with your email and click on the links that they are there, or interact with an email in any other way, because interaction is also a good marker for reputation and for calculating the quality of your domain. So when you're just starting to send emails, try to deliver some value to your users and avoid keywords like 50% off, or subscribe now, or sale 50%, or something like that. So everything, I mean, we all know what spam is, right? And we all have trained neural networks inside our heads that can distinguish the spam letter from non-spam letter. So yeah, just turn on that to your email content, and try to be fair with yourself. Like, did you write a spam email? If you did, then try to rewrite that, because put yourself into your user's shoes. And if you like the email and if you like the content, then shoot it. That will be probably good. The next interesting thing and the next interesting strategy is, okay, so if you start small and increase volumes like gradually, that's good, but that will take a long road to achieve huge volumes, like tens of thousands of sendings per day, if you start from 100 sendings per day, right? So if you increase by 20% every day from 100, that will take you like 90 days to reach 20K sendings per day. I mean, I know I'm shooting numbers, but this is insane, because usually apps acquire, again, tens of thousands of users to a funnel per day. So you want to cover that value. So to spend a lot of time to set up and warm up your domain, in an old-fashioned way, you can use warm-up tools. So there are different strategies on how to warm up domains, but essentially what they do, they ask an API keys to ESP that you use, say, I don't know, Twilio, and they start to send emails from your domain to their bot network. And their bot network reads your emails, engages, interacts with them, I don't know, click on links within these emails. So does everything that is expected from reputation building services like Gmail, on like whether your emails are good or bad. So these guys essentially boost your reputation. That should be pretty self-explanatory. Like, Igor, if you have any questions, yeah, feel free to interrupt me. I'm speaking too much sometimes. So yeah, that's
Yeah, I had a question, but I wanted to ask a little bit later. So when
shoot it.
yeah. So yeah, when you start warming up your domain, and if something happens with it, I don't know, like all your emails get into spam, even if you are not using these sub words, what can you do with that? Like you mentioned that, like increase it by 15%, 15-20% a day.
Yeah.
But if we go all in and we send, I don't know, like 2,000 emails per day and then 5,000, and we have problems, what should we
Yeah.
do?
Yeah, perfect example, perfect question, because we had some troubles with some of our clients, so we know exactly what to do and what not to do. So first thing, when you set up your emails, you have to distinguish and isolate your marketing emails and transactional emails. So transactional emails are essentially like all the information that is related to purchases, like invoices that you send to your users, like any business critical things that should
or linked to download the application, for instance.
Correct. So everything that is critical for delivering value to your customer from like your product per se should be sent from a separate domain, and preferably from a separate ESP account. So sometimes ESPs, for multiple reasons, they might suspend accounts if they consider that you're sending spam and stuff like that. And if your transactional emails work in the same account as your marketing emails and your account was banned because, I don't know, they considered that you sent spam, but you obviously didn't, but that might happen. So even your transactional emails will be also shut down. So what we usually do with our customers is we're trying to separate on a domain level and preferably on ESP level, transactional and marketing emails. That's like step 0 that you need to do. That's just a safety check. You have to do that in case something goes wrong. So another layer of security is that you asked specifically, like if your domain was already damaged for whatever reason, what should you do and how to avoid that? Like what are the next steps? So the best solution here is not to be in this situation and start not with a single domain for marketing sendings, but with 2 domains. So the first domain you use for sending your marketing emails on a production scale, and the second domain you leave on a warm-up tool that is warm, and this domain is warmed up consistently and continuously, and that will be your spare. So if something goes wrong with your first production domain, you can easily switch your traffic to another one, and that other one is already warmed up, and you will not suffer any interruptions in terms of sending volumes. So meanwhile, while the second domain took the heavy load, the first one could be put by you to a warm-up tool, and their reputation might be healed. That usually takes like 30 to 60 days, depending on the volumes and damage. But yeah, like the orders of magnitude of the time is kind of like that. So you can switch these domains when the reputation of one is damaged. You can switch the traffic to the second one and let the first one to heal, and vice versa. So this is like the best approach. Have 2 domains and go with that. If you had 1 domain, however, and the reputation was damaged, there are also like things to do. You can just plug in a warm-up tool and let it heal simultaneously with sending production emails. This is usually worse, and it's better to separate like on a domain level. But if you, for whatever reason, don't have a spare one, this is the thing that you might do, and that might help. There is no guarantee. Like in the emails, all the strategies has some stochastic nature, right? So what works to one product might not work to another. That's totally normal. But in general, trends are that if like any hack or any feature worked for like 3 out of 4 apps, that most probably will work for you. Not necessarily, but most probably. Did I answer the question? Yes.
Okay.
I hope it's yes. Okay, yeah. So the last one on this topic, and we will move on, is 5,000 emails per day is a critical point. What does it mean? So Gmail has a special badge for domains, which is called bulk sender. So once you start to send more than 5,000 emails per day from any given domain, this domain is marked as a bulk sender forever in like Google Postmaster. Usually, like Google does not reveal all their cards, but some things are more stricter in terms of like reputation calculation for bulk senders. For instance, you have to have SPF record, you have to have one-click unsubscribe, you have to, like, it's better to have to be me a record. It's not mandatory, but highly recommended. So these are not like big things, but we definitely notice that spam filters work a bit stricter for bulk senders. So if you have like huge volumes, you might consider a strategy when you send emails from multiple domains simultaneously. However, when you send multiple emails from multiple domains, that might also be considered as spammy behavior. We had a case like that, and that was a disaster. I'll speak about that at the end of our presentation to waste too much time on that. But yeah, that was a funny story. So okay, regarding the technical setup, this is pretty much it. If you have like any questions, yeah, feel free to ask in chat. And let's move on. So about the records that you need to send, as I mentioned, there are like things that make email as a protocol pretty much secure, at least in modern circumstances. So there are technologies called DMARC, DKIM, and SPF that allows to confirm the sender that I own a domain sample.com, and there is a mechanism called DMARC and DKIM. They are essentially the same, that can verify for Gmail that this email was indeed sent by me because I signed that. So it's kind of like a digital signature, and you have to set and monitor your DMARC, DKIM, and SPF DNS records. I know that's a lot of acronyms, but trust me, if you'll Google that is pretty straightforward how to do that. Just you have to know that these things exist, and you need to monitor that they are set up and okay. So another thing that I already mentioned, it's more applicable to bulk senders from 2025, but probably that will also be for any marketing emails soon, is one-click unsubscribe. So what exactly is one-click unsubscribe? You need to put to your email a specific link and a specific header when you send an email, and this header have to have like unsubscribe link embedded. It's not the same exactly as a like unsubscribe button that you voluntarily set up in the body of your email. It's kind of slightly different thing, and this is required. But again, all of the ESPs now, they know that one-click unsubscribe exists and it's mandatory. So it works automatically in SendGrid, in Bravo, in MailChimp. I know that for sure. And probably that is also automated within the other email service providers. But guys, you need to be aware that this thing is mandatory. And if you don't set one-click unsubscribe, your domain again might hit the bad reputation almost instantly. And this is pretty bad. The last thing from a technical perspective that you need to monitor is blacklists. So again, email is very old protocol. So when humanity faced spammy emails as something that is happening, they built a mechanism on how to stop that. And one of the mechanisms is blacklist nodes. So blacklist node is essentially a TXT file that is hosted by any server. Anyone with a laptop might host their own blacklist server. It usually contains domains and emails that this particular node considers as spammy, that they send spam. So there are a lot of tools in the internet that allow you to monitor through the most popular and most used blacklists. So
do you have these links in presentation, or we will send it later?
No, I can add that here and send it later. This is no biggie. You can just ask ChatGPT. Nobody Googles stuff now, so yeah, ask ChatGPT for that. Or yeah, I will embed that in presentation easily, and you can just use top-notch tools. Okay. So yeah, just you need to monitor, like build a routine that once a week you monitor blacklist surveillance tools if your domain was blacklisted or not. So there are automations. They can send you email notifications, that kind of stuff. I mean, that's pretty all thing, but still you need to be aware that this thing exists and you need to have a look at it. All right, let's move on. So the most interesting part, what your email should be. So we've came up with a pretty straightforward framework on what we have to do and what we have to have in terms of email scenarios. So the first discovery that we, as an agency, I could say, that specializes on emails works is that you'd better to set double opt-in. That double opt-in might be fake or might be like live. So what essentially double opt-in is, it's an email that asks for a confirmation. No, that's not it. But anyways, that asks for a confirmation whether this user agrees to receive emails or not. And it's better to send double opt-ins. Yes, they might cut your volumes drastically, but at the first time, if you just set up domain and you don't have a warm-up tool, this is the best way to gain a good reputation and maintain it throughout like half a year or something like that. That will cut your volumes by, I don't know, to just 30% of the initial emails. So if you have like 100 email addresses, about 30% will double opt-in. But they will be motivated and they will interact with your email because they need to click a button at least to confirm that they agree to receive emails. So that will be considered as engagement for a Google Postmaster, and they will increase your reputation. So the second one, I'd say growth hack for emails that we came up with is splitting users by email services. So what do I mean by splitting by email services is working separately with users who use Gmail from users who use Outlook, from users who use Apple Mail, and so on and so forth. So like Gmail filters are one of the most strict, and they also have feature of landing in primary or updates or promotions, and that's another topic to uncover. But and the way the Gmail spam filters work is different from how Apple Mail spam filters work and Outlook spam filters work. They all are different. They have like same concepts, but in details, it's better to make A/B tests aware of email services that are used. So we usually build some different email layouts for different service providers. Another thing that you have to keep in mind, and we definitely do keep in mind when we were working with customers, is focusing on reputation. I understand that if you have an app that makes, I don't know, 1 million MRR, say, that's a pretty big deal. I totally understand that. But if you don't have emails and you want to start and you have already a huge volume of users who are ready to give you their email address, it's really, really necessary to focus on reputation rather than chase the volumes upfront. So if you start, again, to send 10,000 of emails per day from a fresh new domain, that's a really bad story. So you have two options. So option number one is to buy a warm-up tool. For huge volumes, that might be a bit expensive, but that definitely worth it if you have huge volumes and you want to increase your volumes fast. If you want to make emails a profitable channel, you can you'd better to get some patience and start with small numbers of sendings and increase that gradually. So if you do not focus on reputation, all the work that you do within emails will be undone when you just hit a bad reputation because you increase your volumes too fast. That's really bad story. So first 1 or 2 months, focus on reputation, and then experiment with content, make some tweaks, hacks. But first, You need to make your users engage to your emails, not unsubscribe, not mark you as a spam. Just make everything that is necessary to build your reputation. That's really one of the most important things within emails as a channel. Okay, so another interesting thing to uncover is, I mentioned that there are folders like primary, like updates, like promotions. In Google there are folders. So they really depend on a content of your email. So one of the most important metrics that Google uses to determine whether this email should be in a primary or in promotions or in, I don't know, updates is image to text ratio. So image to text ratio is a metric which essentially calculates the number, like how much area the images within your email takes and how much area is taken by text, divide to one to another, and come up with a number. So the good rule of thumb is 60-40. So 60% of your email should be text. Yeah, you have a question? No.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Sure.
do we take the height of the images and text,
Yeah.
or how?
Yeah, so you have like a rendered
But
image.
yeah, it can be different on different screens. So yeah, like, okay, now we have the desktop version. On mobile it will be different.
Yeah. So as far as I get it, again, nobody will tell you 100% how it's calculated. As far as I understand, the consensus of the market is that they just have like a grid, and they are trying to understand how much area is taken by this image and how much area is taken by this as a text, and they just divide one to another. But again, you have a great question how it happens on different screen resolutions, because the layout might be different on mobile and on desktop. I have no clue. In general, that's a rule of thumb. That will be pretty different, but not too much, I believe. But again, like it really depends on the design and layout of your email. So yeah, the most honest answer is we don't know. Only Google knows. But that's definitely a metric that influences whether your email will be land to inbox, to primary inbox, or promotions. Oh, shoot, there are two number fours. Sorry. And the last one is about experiments. So A/B test a lot, because it really differs. It really makes difference which subject to use, whether your users will open your email or not. It really matters what value you bring to your customers, because content is the king. Like deliverability is the king, but after deliverability, like device king is content. If your content is good, your users will stick with you and they will buy your product no matter what. If your content is just ChatGPT generated, that will probably go to spam folder forever. Okay, so I'm ready to go to some showcases. Igor, do you have any other questions about like how to set up emails?
No, that was like pretty detailed in technical details. I may have a question like, what ESP would you recommend personally to use, where it's easy to create such sequences, and if our viewers will decide to do it by themselves?
All right. So there are multiple choices. As I mentioned, there are like three main players at the market, in my understanding. This is not sponsored, so this is not like an advice or something like that, just my personal opinion. You can use Bravo, which is Sendinblue. In my opinion, that's one of the most, one of the greatest and optimal in terms of value and price. The next one would be, I'd say, SendGrid, which is Twilio. They are one of the biggest. And the last one is MailChimp. They are, as far as I know, the most expensive, but they have a lot of plugins. So if you don't want to hustle too much, well, MailChimp is mostly used for e-commerce and Shopify and these guys. So I guess Web2App funnels is not the main target audience of theirs. So I'd recommend Bravo with obviously Ngrow. So we have a tool that allows you to build these funnels and utilize machine learning and what do your users answer on a quiz to send the best email for this particular user, depending again on their answers within your funnel. Okay, so let's move on to some
let's dive
cases.
into the content.
Yay! So first one is Noom. I guess everybody knows Noom. Noom are one of the biggest and the most known guys.
And they have one of the longest funnels on the market.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they have multiple funnels, but yeah, as far as I know, these are pretty long. But we will start from the end of the funnel, and then we'll go to the emails. So how do the flow works? So you first hit the paywall. In my case, that was a free trial, but that might be like different depending on their A/B test currently. And again, I guess I will not waste too much on a paywall. Just let you know that they emphasize the personalization and that this particular plan is built just for you. And if you stick to the plan, you will lose the weight and reach the goal. And you guys, I'm pretty sure, know about that, how it works. You definitely know about that better than me. But I wanted just to emphasize that they utilize this personalization thing and personal plan thing a lot along their email funnel. So they send you the first email almost instantaneously, like within 5 minutes after you hit or 15 minutes when you hit the paywall and did not purchase. So some things that worth mentioning, I've marked here. So one of the most impactful, in my opinion, at least, thing is that they put a course number to emphasize the personalization. I think that this is also a technical thing because subject used really, the subject line has huge weight for spam filters to determine whether your email is spammy or not. So if you have some personalization in subject, it's usually better than you just send a generic email. So you definitely need to consider that.
Do you know, is this number like changed or is it static for all the users?
As far as I know, it is changeable. It's
Okay.
not really hard to make that work.
I understand. So we send the user property with order ID, something
sure.
like that.
Yeah, you can just generate any random number that not necessarily have to have like business logic. It should be just random and consistent for each given user, and could be short and just to look like a course number. I guess you got the idea. And yeah, they personalize that not only in the subject but also in a body of an email. And interesting thing here is that you can see that the image to text ratio in the first email is about 50%. Well, maybe like 45, 55, something like that. So pretty big image. And then almost the same area of an email is taken by text. But that's not the case for the latter emails. We'll cover that later. Yeah, and all of the emails have call to action links, which is lose 20 kilos for good in this case, but not necessarily. And they lead you to specific paywall, which is unique for emails. So in this case, they tried to sell to me 5-month plan for 114 euros. And then from email, that came up as 3-month plan, but for 99 euros, which is, I'm not sure, but maybe better deal. I need to calculate. But the crucial thing is that this is different and unique for emails. So I was not able to reach the same page, the same paywall from web. But maybe I was just unlucky. But I strongly suspect that this is a special paywall for emails. So then,
sorry, like we
Sure,
have
sure.
multiple clients who send new paywalls in the emails, and this discount is getting bigger with every email. So like if on the main paywall you show the discount like 50%, then next email will be a discount like 60%, 70, 80. So
Yeah, right.
it's great to increase the discount.
Yeah, right. Absolutely, absolutely. And Noom also does that. So after 5 hours of you not buying their subscription, still they send you another offer, which is a little bit different. So they emphasize what they offer. Again, 3 months free and 14 days free trial, which is the same as the previous email, but the layout is pretty different. So in this one, there is a promo code. This is unique. I checked that. But the expiration date is fake. I also checked that. So that does not end in 48 hours. That I don't know, is longer. When I was building this sequence, that was about a week. So the promo code might still work. You guys might try to take that. Feel free. The interesting thing here is that the image to text ratio is increased in this one. So they started to work on image to text ratio right from the second email. So the first one is, I don't know, pretty much good by itself. But from the second one, I can see that they iterated a lot and came up with this layout, which is like roughly 70-30 image to text, as you can see. And they lead you to a paywall with a bigger discount and a promo code that actually works. So 99 euros became 89 euros for 6 months compared to 3 months. So the discount was increased. Okay, let's move on. So 2 emails per for the first day are sent. So within 5 hours, within 6 hours of you completing the funnel, you'll receive at least 2 emails, which is kind of standard. We usually have the same thing. So with a frequency 2 emails per day, and Noom does that. All the best players, in my opinion, send at least 2 emails within the first 24 hours. Some of them send 4, but it's up for a debate and A/B test. But 2, in my opinion, is the minimum once you hit the good reputation. So the next thing we can learn from Noom is A/B testing in terms of layout and CSS. So as you can see, there are 2 emails that were sent within the next day, 15 hours one from another. So the first one is very little in CSS design. It's almost plain text. And it also might be valued by spam filters. We've seen for some customers that these layouts without any heavy CSS design working better than the ones that have, like, fancy designs and layout grid and that kind of stuff. It's really up for A/B testing, because for some projects, great and fancy emails work better. For some, don't. Just experiment. That's one of the things that you might consider. I will not waste too much time, because you guys will obviously have an access to this FigJam file, and after the webinar, we'll send you a link. You can take that and understand by yourself. Just wanted to emphasize, same as Igor said, that you can increase the amount of discount that you give to your users, not necessarily with a number like -50, -60, -70, or something like that, but also with the duration of a plan. So in this case, Noom on the next day sent me an offer with a slightly higher price, but for the whole year. So that might be also something that you might want to A/B test with. Just consider that. Alrighty, and some content here. After the first 2 days, they set you to a warm up, I'd say, sequence when they send you one email per day, not two. So the frequency is decreased because you consider it as a dormant user right now. So the first days are crucial. So like day 0, day 1, and day 2, these are crucial. And the most of the conversions are happening there. Like 70% of the conversions that happen from email happen within the first 2 days, like considering the 0 day as an initial one. And after that, there is a long tail, but it's like 30, 40%, something like that. So 60 to 70% is first couple of days, and then they are dormant, but you still need to warm them up with emails. Just send a recurring sequence of one email per day, like have it pretty long. So we usually send 30 days after user initially completed the funnel. So 30 emails, one email per day is pretty good to start with. All right, any questions?
No.
Not really. Let's go.
Flow.
All right. How much time do we have? Do I need to speed up? Let me know if I need to speed up.
Well, little bit.
Okay,
We're
okay.
already 1 hour, so yeah.
Okay, so we'll just cover flow, and then I guess we'll go to Q&A phase. So another great thing, great product that I really look up to is Flow. This is period tracker and female health app, and they have unique design and unique strategy on sending emails. Not only because they are one of the biggest, but also they are, in my opinion, one of the most talented. So first email that they send to you is a double opt-in. So whether you confirm that you will receive the emails and you confirm that you set up account on Flow or not, this is important to build up reputation. Because users got used to a pattern when you need to confirm your email once you log in. That's totally normal, totally okay. Everybody does that. So by sending this double opt-in, you increase the level of engagement of users, and that builds up and keeps the reputation of your domain. Okay, and then they send you the first offer, which is great, with a pretty short layout. They just tell you to begin the story and complete the sign up, but in reality, they send you to a paywall, which is totally okay, and everybody does that. So the next email will be sent within 4 hours. So initially, you will receive 3 emails in the first day, and this one will lead you to the same paywall as the first 2s. But on the next day, they give you a greater offer, which is 50% off forever. I've never seen someone, except for maybe that's a huge thing right now. But as far as I know, OnlyFlow gives 50% off forever, which is kind of great deal. And they communicate.
Sorry, forever meaning no subscription. You just pay once for lifetime.
No. They give you 50% not for the first month, but the whole subscription price is reduced 50%.
Okay, so it's still subscription.
Yeah,
but
it's still subscription. Yeah.
Okay.
But usually they do the subscription apps do like 50% off for the first month, which is introductory offer, and then you pay the full price. But this case is slightly different, which is great. And I don't know. I guess their users value that. Another thing is that they have great design. So the color scheme, the illustrations, everything looks fancy and great. I'd slightly increase the image to text ratio, in my opinion. But yeah, nothing to say. This is one of the things that you definitely need to look up to and probably make the same or better. Yes, and again, they emphasize the value of. So they are not only telling you that we have 50% off, go, buy. They also emphasize the value of the product and why it matters. So what can you do there? What features they have. They have like pregnancy symptoms checker, the community, the answers to frequently asked questions, that kind of stuff, which is also great. So you can not only sell the subscription itself, but also let users discover what app is about. So I guess we're almost out of time. I'll finish on that, I guess. If you have any questions, yeah, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer. This is pretty much it from my side.
Okay, guys, yeah, please send us your questions into the chat. I have a question about these emails are like pretty fancy with all the images, structure, so like they are designed. But I also saw some funnels who send emails that are just with the text. So like they look like they're sent not by a marketer, but by, I would say, like the founder themselves. What do you think about these emails? Can they convert better? If yes, in which cases? Or these fancy emails are like the standard and people expect them?
Yeah, right. Great question. I mean, it really depends on what do you consider as convert better. Like if you have a healthy domain and you send fancy email and you send plain text email, usually the fancy email will win. However, people usually send these plain text emails to increase their reputation. So once their domain was marked as medium reputation or low reputation, it's better to switch from heavy CSS layout to almost plain text with almost no usage of CSS and fancy HTML tags, just to a plain text image. And spam filters usually like that better than heavy CSS. So if we're saying about like more converting in terms of sent to purchase ratio, if your domain is already damaged, yes, it's better to switch to plain text or reduced CSS usage layout. If you have a healthy domain, which has great click ratio, great open ratio, great reputation, I'd recommend to focus on the design. It doesn't mean that you need to put a lot of images, but that if it looks nice, it converts nice. If it doesn't look nice, it might not convert.
Okay, I see.
There is another hack I'd like to say. So some users send some companies, they send just a screenshot of an email. So the whole email is just one image, which is a screenshot of email, and they put a lot of text in alt tag, which is HTML tag. When you put an image, you can also put alternative text there. And they utilize this alt tag to increase image to text ratio. So I don't recommend to use this tactic because it's risky and it might be considered as spam, but sometimes it works. And it might help you if you experiment a lot. That might help you to increase the landing of primary instead of updates. Because if your email consists of only one image, Google considers that as just like someone sent someone an image and this is it, and lends that to primary. But sometimes it backfires. It might backfire, yes, please be aware. But that's an interesting thing to cover. I will not share numbers, but I guess I might do that on our other webinar of our experiment with this tactic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So looks like we don't have questions in chat. So could you please explain a little bit more about nGrow and how you build emails for web funnels? So like disclaimer, we have integration with Web2App has integration with nGrow. We have common clients who use web funnels from Web2Wave and they use emails from nGrow. Results are pretty good. So please tell us about your product.
Yeah, right. So what we do in nGrow is essentially marketing automation for emails, and the way we operate is email marketing department as a service for Web2App funnel centered businesses. So if you have a mobile subscription app which sends a lot of traffic to web funnels, and you want to start with emails, we can help you with that completely. And our approach is holistic. So we're getting responsibility for domain monitoring, domain warm up, building emails, designs, texts, all that stuff, monitoring whether it works or not, and just making emails work for your business. One of the use cases that we have in, can I show it here? Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
So, for instance, one of our clients is Aurora. So we've made a couple of tests there. I wanted to highlight, but had no chance. Thankfully, I will have now. So we experimented with some things like countdown counters within email that worked great. So countdown counters, initially they didn't work at all. There was utter fail. But then when we gained reputation and understood that actually counter is a GIF and we need to build reputation first, then they worked as a charm. So I definitely recommend you, like, if you're setting up emails, do that. If you don't know on how to do that, and you do not want to get all the mistakes by yourself and just trust professionals, yes, please go there. There will be a QR code right now, I guess, at the bottom of the screen. And yeah, we'll set up a bunch of tests for you. We'll audit your app, your funnel, and we'll tell you on how to set up an email email sequence within a week. If you have a web funnel, it might be even faster. Web2Wave, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Then yeah, thank you. So yeah, Web2Wave, we're building web funnels. So you can start building the funnel with us, and then easily connect and grow and start sending emails and increase your revenue. Okay. Well, anything else you would like to add, or we will be wrapping up?
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing. Guys, do not afraid to A/B test. Like, once you A/B test a lot, like, just set up one test a day if you have enough traffic and volume. The effect really compounds. They stack up on each other, and when you A/B test a lot, you just build a product that people actually care about and love. So yeah, don't be scared to A/B test. And if you want to speed up, yes, feel free to reach out to me or Igor, and we'll help you with setting up web funnels and emails.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Great.
So yeah, thank you everyone for watching us, and have a great day. And
yeah, thank you for having me.
Great. Have a great revenue.
Have a great